Hello ladies and gentlemen, and Idiot Imports is sponsored by PlayAsia, who most likely supplied this game to me unless I specifically mentioned that they didn't. You can follow the affiliate link in the description to buy this game from PlayAsia to support me and my channel, and you can use the coupon code BLUEVITA to save $3 off your order. Thanks for your support, enjoy the show. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima. Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a sore spot, isn't it? So, about a week before they announced Dragon Quest Heroes 2 was coming to the West only on PlayStation 4, I decided to grab this import copy. And I just sent the email off saying, hey, crap, intro video. I just sent the email off saying, hey, can I get a copy of this? And they're like, sure. And then they announced it for the West, except it's not coming on Vita, so it's kind of perfect, but also kind of not, so there we go. I'm going to load straight into my game, obviously. 4 hours, 15 minutes, that sounds about right. Notably, I've been skipping pretty much every single cutscene, so if I'd stuck around to watch like the cutscenes and all that, it'd probably be closer to 5 or 6. So if you want to take that into consideration, there you go. Game, it has a 280 meg patch when you start it up, and it actually adds a fair amount of content. So, there you go. Just figured I'd let you know that while the initial load happens. We spawn at the church, just like we did in the first game. I didn't play very much of the first game. I only played a couple of hours of it, so this one here is a little bit new to me, but it's alright. I have a pretty decent idea of what I'm doing, so we'll just go and have a quick look around town first. In here, you can talk to a guy who'll give you some special goodies for getting a certain amount of monster kills and stuff like that. And for trophies, you'll get rewards for that as well. Down here is where you come to do things like earn skills. You get skills over time, and you can unlock them through here. You have to unlock them once you've earned them. And there's a couple other things, like this is where you go to do multiplayer stuff and all that, but we won't be doing multiplayer. Notably, though, the multiplayer is actually has exclusive content, funnily enough. So there are some dungeons and stuff you can only play with 4 people, which is kind of annoying. The chapel here is where you go to get saves and cross-saving. That's all there. So this guy here, I've not seen this guy before, but this will be like one example of a cutscene. This is how they tend to work outside of 3D pre-rendered stuff with voice acting. It's just your typical text screens with a little picture in the bottom left there. That's just how it works usually in Dragon Quest games. So we've got 3 shops here. The first shop is the weapons and... No, just the weapon shop. There's no armor in this shop. And the weapons are simple, just straight upgrades. You give them to the characters that can use them and they get extra damage. It's pretty simple, really. The second one is your orb shop. This is armor, so you do want to be careful about that. This is the armor shop. You do want to come here and buy armor as soon as possible because there is a point where you'll start getting one-shotted by everything. This is the accessory upgrade shop where you get accessories by fighting off monsters, and you also gain resources by fighting off said monsters, and you use these resources in order to upgrade your accessories in order for them to be more effective. So you can see here that if I had all these resources, I can upgrade them. So I'll upgrade this here just as a demonstration of how it works. It does cost money and resources to do. There's slime earrings for some reason. I'm not entirely sure what the point is, but there you go. Not entirely sure what these stat upgrades are or what they all do. I haven't taken the opportunity to translate them yet, but it'd be fairly easy to do if you want to do it. I imagine that's get MP back faster or something like that, judging purely by the icon, but we'll leave that for now. So yeah, that's how accessory upgrading works. I haven't done very much of it. There are also some shops that I don't have access to yet, like there's nobody here, despite the fact the game indicates there can be. This lady here gives you quests. Some of them are timed, some aren't. You just ask to go and find particular resources or kill certain amounts of enemies. I imagine I'll find a timed one in here at some point. The timed ones are actually kind of annoying because the time limit starts as soon as you accept the quest, which kind of sucks. But once you get the quest done and come back here, you can, once you get the quest done and come back here, you'll get the reward for it, obviously. The reward can be either money or resources for upgrading your stuff, so that's nice. You can come here to, the second option here is, turn in the quest, but I haven't, got a quest that I can turn in. So there you go. Pretty simple stuff. We've got a pause menu to go through, obviously. You can come here and spend points to do things like upgrade your stats or unlock new special skills. Like the more expensive ones are more special skills, obviously. You can also unlock things like, I believe there's more not upgrade slots. I believe they're more accessory slots. Yeah, that's it. And you can do this with every character as well. I won't waste too much time here. I should be okay with all the basic stuff. I'll just get all the HP upgrades just to be safe, because you can take a fair amount of damage pretty quickly in this game, so that's a thing that's worth keeping an eye on. You can also change what SP skills you have equipped, and you get different SP skills as you go along. You do also get special skills that are party-wide that cost, like, slots up the top there. That you can see this skill takes 1 slot. And it happens every time a particular character gets to 5, 10, or 15 stars. I'm sure I can show off what that means at some point. So yeah, every character has a class, and you can change the class of these two here, which are the main characters, to have them wield different weapons and stuff. So they start off as pretty basic attack classes, but you can make them like healers or magic attackers or stuff like that if you feel like it. This is the item screen that just shows you all the different kinds of items you have. This, yeah, I think, this is the status screen for some reason. Okay, here we go. So this is where you can come to get different abilities for you. This isn't where you come to get the abilities, this is where it tells you what the abilities are. So you can, as you level up with your particular weapons, you'll get more stars, yada, 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 yada. You have to come back and go inside and talk to the guy to get more skills, but otherwise it's fine. This is your encyclopedia. This is where your options are, and where your quests are, and your quick chat for your multiplayer. This is a simplified and more advanced control scheme. I've got the more advanced control scheme on. These are all game options. I think B and C are mainly meant for things like DualShock 3. The main control scheme works just fine, but yeah, these are all just options that you can check via Google Translate. These are all camera options. These are the sound options, obviously, and this is your online options. So if you want to turn off the network communication, you go and turn this option off. You've also got just regular game tips, and it'll tell you how to play the game. And you've also got a full-on manual that you can come and check through here. And it covers everything. So seriously, if you're a little bit confused about how something in this game works, that's fine. Now this is the quick travel screen, and this main city here is where you'll be doing all your stuff. And if I hit select to show the main menu, you can see all those paths that lead out of the city. These are all paths that lead to different areas, so there's a bunch of different areas you can go in the game. And you can use this option here to evacuate to pretty much anything you want. We won't be doing that. We'll go have a look around more thoroughly ourselves, just as the purpose of demonstration. So I'll just walk out through here through this exit, and we will get onto the game itself. And you can use that fast travel system anytime when you're in the world. And if you're in a battle stage, which I'll explain once we get to one, because I do have one that I'm in the middle of right now, you can use it to evacuate, and you'll keep all the stuff you kept up to that point, but if you die, it'll force you back to where you started from. At least I think that's how it works. I haven't died yet. Which is good. You know, I'm not completely incompetent. Anytime now, game, thank you. The loading times aren't great, but thankfully there aren't very many once you're actually in the action. So here we go. This is the open world portion of the game. And we can just run around the area looking for things like treasure chests and beating the crap out of anything we see. There'll be barriers in some paths, and there'll be items on the ground that we can have a look at. But what we'll really be doing is beating the shit out of everything. So, this is a Omega Force developed spin-off. And we all know what that means, right? It means that it's basically a Dynasty Warriors game. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's a Dynasty Warriors clone. But, you know, it's from the people who originally made Dynasty Warriors, so it's not so much a clone, is it? So the idea is that you've got these big open areas to wander around, and you can attack anything you like for XP and items, and there's items lying on the ground and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure I just said the same thing twice, but I don't care. Square and triangle are your main attacks, and they work like they do in Dynasty Warriors. The more you level up, the more of them you have access to. And you just combine these two buttons in order to beat the shit out of anything that dares to get in your way. You have the L button, which lets you block. You have the X button, which lets you jump. Where'd he go? There he is. Son of a bitch. You also have the circle button, which is, of course, a Musu attack. It also does this, which I'm not particularly sure what that is. I think it might just be a way to regenerate your MP real fast, but I can't entirely be sure. There are also some touch controls on the menu, so you might notice that the Bomberai's screen is constantly red. That's not a problem. That's where you tap to lock on to bigger enemies, which is fine. If you tap the left side of the screen, it'll let you swap between characters, so you can play as whoever you feel like at the time. You can change your party members by going back into that building that I completely skipped earlier for the sake of time. I'm going to go do a battle stage because it's pretty boring to wander around the overworld, obviously, but I mean, there is stuff you can do here. Like, these blue things here are what I need to kill for a quest, so I might as well go kill some of them, just for the purpose of demonstration. There is also your spells, so if you hold the R button down, you'll have access to a bunch of spells. So if I press square, for example, I'll let out a tornado of fire. And a self-destructing ice spirit blows me halfway across the goddamn land. That's pretty funny. And every character has different spells, so I'll swap to her, for example, and she can do this. Just a big area of effect ground slam. And you can swap to another character and do a special attack as you're coming in for MP. You've also got 3 group heals that you can use at any time via pressing up on the D-pad while holding R. And if you press the right side of the touchscreen, you will start running when you've got your weapons put away, but if you've got your weapons drawn, it'll let you do a dodge, and the dodge has iframes. So if you see a big attack coming and you're not like mid-attack, then it is recommended that you immediately just hit the dodge button and try not to die. So the way this game works is that there's battle stages, and this is one of the battle stages that I've unlocked. I'm currently partway through it. They're a line of 1 or more stages where you have to go through. There's tons of enemies. There are goals in every individual stage. Like in the first one that you have to do, the main goal is to protect the king via going through the stage and clearing all the enemies, but frankly, the goal is usually pretty obvious. It's just go through, kill the enemies. Some cutscenes here, but nothing too intense. Random slime. We can skip cutscenes if we want, which I just did. I'm hoping... Alright, so... I have no idea what he's saying. I don't even know why I bothered to talk to him, but whatever. I imagine this is going to be one of those sorts of stages where the whole thing's a bloody maze, which I will admit I'm not a fan of, but hopefully it'll let me show off some actual combat. Alright. Actually, I hate playing this guy because he's basically a white mage, so I don't care. There's a bunch of different kinds of characters, but you don't actually have access to most of them. Like, you might have noticed when I was in the pause menu that there were a bunch of characters there. There was like 14, but you can only access like 6 from the very beginning. I think there's a few that are exclusive to the multiplayer part of the game as well, which is a little strange, but whatever. I won't argue too heavily about it. Now, this is a feature of Dragon Quest Heroes, which I actually really like. It's the coin system, where you have 3 different kinds of coins that you can pick up. And these 3 different kinds of coins can do things like summon monsters. So, for example, this is an attack. So there you go. I did 320 damage to basically everything there, which is enough to kill all of it. Those are the blue coins. The yellow coins are even cooler, because what the yellow coins do, I'm going to wait until I'm into the next monster closet. I'm probably not even going to be able to find the right way out of this area, just because it's a fucking maze. There's a red tree there, I might want to remember that. That might be something relevant. Okay, red tree means I go back to the beginning, apparently. I'll just skip the rest of this cutscene. They have some neat animations and stuff like that, but it's nothing really entirely necessary. Most of the stuff that you run into isn't that big of a problem in terms of like dialogue and stuff like that. There are some things that'll tell you what you need to do. Like, there's one mission where you have to go back to this particular city. And when you do, it says to you, like... brain work with me here. It says something along the lines of, talk to all the guards, and that's what you have to do in order to progress the mission. So I guess if you don't know what you're doing, just talk to everybody in the area and hope you get through a bit. But yeah. The dialogue isn't really too necessary. Okay, I'm guessing that I can't go that direction at all, so I need to come in here and then go down the one path that I didn't go down. So, okay. I hate maze stages. So the other coins actually let you turn into the monster that you collected the coin of, which is great because you can turn into things like the gigantic earth golems, which is awesome because they do massive amounts of splash damage, and you can turn into things like robots and stuff too, which is awesome. There is also a third type of coin, which is the red coin, and the red coin... I leveled up? Okay. And the red coin, what the red coin does is... Brain. My head hurts. The red coin lets you have basically minions follow you around, and they'll go and defend stuff for you. Nope, I'm back here again. That text probably tells me what I need to do or where I need to go or whatever, but of course I'm going to have the bad luck of... Alright, I'll try down here instead. Nope, I'm just back here. Great. The whole system with being able to like control monsters and stuff like that is pretty neat. She sounds very upset. Right, where the hell am I gonna go now, huh? I guess I'll go up this way? Nope, I'm just back here. Oh. Nope, hang on. I think I've gone to a better place this time because there's no teleports out of this area. Aha, here's the big guy. So you can lock onto the big guys. And it's usually a good idea to, like, spend a bunch of your special coins on these bastards. Yay, he's dead. And the portal's opened. I'll just skip this cutscene because you never know how long these are going to be. And I get a slime attack coin. There's a ton of different coins in this game, so that's nice. Okay, we've got big tree over there, big tree over there. Basically, whatever way we do this, we're screwed. So, let's go mage again. And hello, spooky ghost. I haven't gotten any red coins yet, but they basically just spawn the same monsters again. And they just, like, run around and, you know, deal damage and take damage. And you can choose to toss coins by using the down on the D-pad if you absolutely need to, but unless they're, like, a minion monster who's, like, really low in health, you really don't need to do that. Just use the attacks. It's not really that big a deal. Oh, back here again? Seriously? God, I really do hate these levels. I mean, they probably are telling me what I need to do, I just can't understand it. It's not great. Okay, so I went up here. Then go in the one portal that's unlocked. And then take the route I didn't take before. And if that doesn't work, then I can come back here and... Right. There are a couple of other mechanics I'm not going over. Like, you can have, like, up to 3 different accessories on at the same time. And there's a bunch of other things like that. Just small things. But It really is basically a Dynasty Warriors game, more or less. And, like, that's fine by me. I mean, it's not really that hard to understand and guess your way around if you really need to. The text on screen is all pretty easy to guess and translate, so it really isn't that big of a deal. And the game itself works perfectly fine. There are some performance things going on. Now, this is actually kind of interesting because this seems to be in some sort of like in-between where there's an absolute ton of different monsters. King Slime, there's an absolute ton of like monsters and stuff on screen. Like seriously, there tends to be more monsters on screen on this than there were on like the old Dynasty Warriors ports. Like Dynasty Warriors 8, Dynasty Warriors Next had the most people on screen at once. He's gonna, yep. That happens every time. It's kind of hard to dodge in this game because when you get started on an attack chain, you can't dodge immediately. You have to wait until the attack chain's over. So it just kind of sucks like that, but oh well. But yeah, anyway, as I was saying, the performance, for the most part, is fine, except sometimes it does drop. It does drop frames pretty badly. As I said, for the most part. I mean, there are points where the game will just slow to a crawl, which kind of sucks, but considering how many monsters they tend to have on screen at the same time, it's ridiculous. Like, look at all these damn monsters. I know the frame rate's dropping a bit, but that's seriously a ridiculous amount of monsters. Especially with how good this game looks. I mean, the backgrounds are really pretty. The areas are really open and wide, and the pop-in is, like, non-existent. Like, there is some, but it's so minor that it's really hard to even notice any of it. It's really strange, honestly. Hang on, there's a red coin here. I can demonstrate how this works. So you can bring in a King Slime as a friend. And he does actually help. It's kind of great, actually. Considering that I played Dragon Quest Builders a little bit and I saw most of these monsters, seeing them again in this context means I actually understand what the hell they're doing here, which is kind of nice. Let me show off the game's, like, Rage mode or Musu mode or whatever the hell you want to call it. So, obviously, you hit faster and harder and you get infinite MP for spell attacks, which is nice. And, of course, when you feel like it, hit the circle button and you'll do a Rage attack. Does massive amounts of damage to anything in front of you. Everything just dies. It looks great in the process. And it's just, yeah, it's Musu through and through. And even with all the, let me try that again. Let me start that sentence from the beginning. The nice thing about being a Musu game is that you, I'll skip the cutscene. It's just opening the door. And that's actually the end of the mission. The missions do continue. There are multiple in a row, and you can retreat back to back to your town or whatever in order to do things like upgrades and stuff, and you can just warp right back. So you can, like, get upgrades and increase your skills and all that. We won't be doing that. We'll just head straight on to the next one. Unfortunately, you can't carry your coins over, so you can't just start, like, spamming attacks right away, but there you go. But as I was saying, the main fun of, like, a Dynasty Warriors game is having an absolute ton of monsters to deal with and just beating the shit out of all of them at once. And even if there are, like, frame rate drops and stuff like that, oh hey, it's actually a big boss guy. Alright, I'll skip the rest of the cutscene, but yeah. The main point of Dynasty Warriors games is having a ton of monsters and just having fun beating the absolute bejesus out of them all the time. And frankly, if it means having an absolute ton of monsters to play around with, I'm absolutely bloody fine with the frame rate dropping from time to time. It's absolutely fine by me. And I'm having a lot of fun playing Dragon Quest Heroes 2 because of that. Oh god. Ow. I'm having a lot of fun playing the game because of that. There's a lot of monsters on screen. The action is satisfying in that way that, Dynasty Warriors does. Obviously, it's not going to convince you if you're not a fan of Dynasty Warriors or anything like that. But as just a lightweight, don't really think too hard about it, hack and slash style game, it really is a good time. And I really am disappointed that Square Enix has decided to be like, oh, we'll bring over the PlayStation 4 version, but screw the Vita version. We don't think it's worth it, despite the fact that Tecmo Koei have decided to bring over Berserk's Vita version. If bloody Tecmo Koei can afford to bring over Berserk Musu, then Square Enix surely can afford to bring over freaking Dragon Quest Heroes 2 on Vita. Dragon Quest is way more recognizable than fucking Berserk is. Jesus Christ. I think I'm gonna play as Axe Lady, because I like playing as Axe Lady. She's slow, but she does a lot of damage. Ow. Yeah, that's kind of the cheap attack right there, just getting whiffed in the face with an arrow that comes out of basically nowhere. Thankfully it doesn't do too much damage, but oh well. I have to admit I'm a fan of some of the things that this game does, just like in the background. Like, all the gold and items that get dropped, you get immediately. Like, you don't have to go pick them up. The only thing that you really have to worry about picking up is the coins. That's nice. You get 4 revives on every level. And if you use all 4 revives, obviously, you can't revive anyone again. I haven't found any way to increase this. I hope there's a way to increase it in the future, because sometimes you find yourself needing a fair few revives when you're dealing with a really difficult boss. But still, not really that big of a deal. I'm not too annoyed by it. Okay, apparently you get the Green Archer as friends. So, hello friends. And you can take all of the special attacks I have on me. Apparently it didn't do too much. Smack. Just beat on him while he's down, for God's sake. Frame rate's dropping again, but oh well. And he's running away again because he's a jerk. Scaredy cat. Yeah, you run away. You let me have fun with all your hordes of soldiers. Fire a spell off. Can't see. Not that big of a deal, but there you go. That one little archer just trying to take on the tree and just getting his ass beat. That's fun. And the game does have a lot of, well, like Dragon Quest-y stuff in it. It's like, there's a ton of references to all the different kinds of monsters and all that, obviously. I've become tiny. There's sound effects from the series all over the place, like when you finish the mission, it has that little twang. I don't even know how. Like, I know, that was horrible. That was absolutely horrible. I'll see if I can point out when the sound does happen when the stage is over. But yeah, all the sound effects and stuff are here, and obviously all the character design. Well, were the characters in this game designed by Akira Toriyama? Probably. Maybe. Sure look like it. But I mean, I will admit, I haven't played very many Dragon Quest games in my life. Hell, I don't think I've even, well, no, that's a lie. I've played a little bit of Dragon Quest 4, I think it was. Like, I know that's a weird one to have played, but yeah, I have played Dragon Quest 4 for a bit, and it does feel like but my main experience with the games have been Dragon Quest Builders and, well, now Dragon Quest Heroes 2, and this does feel like, well, Dragon Quest Builders and Dragon Quest 4 and all that, so, you know, whatever. It does have all the sort of Dragon Quest stylings going on with it. He's almost dead. And when they die, smack. Get the flash of light. Hey, cutscene.
魔物の親分をぶっ飛ばしてやったぜ。まったく。お前はブレずに暑苦しいな。え？もう少し大人としての品格を身につけたらどうだ。大人の品格な。けど、お前だって無理して格好つけてるだけで、中身は俺と似たようなもんだろ。やはり俺の美学はお前にはわからんか。 常に冷静を装えるのが大人というものなんだぜ。
ちょっと、そんな無駄話してる暇はないでしょ。さっさと先に進むわよ。
同感ね。こんな気味の悪いところ、早く抜けちゃいます。なんだっていうのよ。
別の匂いが近づいてくる。こいつ仲間を呼んだみたいだぞ。
来るぞ。へえ、俺たちの一撃を受け止めるとはそれなりに骨のありそうな奴らじゃねえか。なあ、テル。
少なくとも退屈はしなくて済みそうだな。
どうなってるの？あなたたち人間よね。
Alright, you get the point. I'm gonna skip the rest of the cutscene just so we don't watch cutscenes for very long, but yeah, human on human fights, and this actually brings up a good point for the human AI. The human AI is a fucking dick. Like, when it's the enemy AI, they constantly go for you, which really sucks. I'm not entirely sure why they do that, but they do. And your guys aren't exactly great in the AI department either. Like, they won't use their spells very often at all, despite the fact that they can clearly, like, spam the shit out of them at times. Did I just completely miss that? Yep, I did, didn't I? They won't use their spells very much at all, which really sucks. And, well, I guess they kind of make up for it by, like, not dying very easily, but yeah, I mean, see, this guy had his Musu power all charged up the whole time, and it's like, he didn't use it. Like, it's kind of annoying that the AI can't really use it. Maybe there's some option in the options menu that I'm missing, but even for, like, Dynasty Warriors AI, this feels particularly annoying. So, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I completely missed again, didn't I? I just love how she's in the background just, like, firing at a wall. Like, wonderful position, love. Okay, apparently we have done some damage, which is nice. Okay, they share a health bar for some reason. I'm not entirely sure what that's about. And of course, there is dodging and stuff like that you can do, but yeah, good luck doing that with two characters that are both trying to attack you at the same time. Oh look, she actually used a spell for once. That's nice. Still, the fights aren't that big of a deal, especially if you've still got revives and group heals left over, but yeah, just try and fight both of them off by yourself while your other guys basically don't exist. Kind of annoying as shit, but oh well, not that big of a deal. Ooh, I'm hurt. I'll swap to another character because they tend to have better luck of like not dying if you're on a different character, which is again annoying as shit. There you go. Ow. Like, see how they just completely ignored the fact that there were 3 AI dudes, like, right next to them, and they just decided not to go for them for whatever reason? It's just straight to me. No questions asked. Bit dumb. Ow. Ow! I can't even get close! See, look, they're all running over to me! It's like, why? And then as soon as I swap AI. I know this is a particularly minor thing to have gripes over, but it's still kind of funny. It's just weird in that sense. And yes, this guy does have a group heal, and he also plays a trumpet. Only to bring in a bunch of bullhorn guys who just charge. Not entirely sure what they were going for there, but it's so stupid that I like it. Dragon Quest has always had this sort of like weird charm about it that I really do appreciate. It's nice. Especially in these spin-offs where they can just afford to just go full ridiculous. You know, I don't have a problem with that. The last battle stage I had ended on the human fight, so I'm hoping that this will be the end of this one as well, and I can call this video to an end. But yep, that's a pretty awesome special finish right there. I'll skip the pre-rendered cutscene. You've seen that. You get level up, you get items, and it asks you if you want to save, so that means this is actually the end of the thing, which is nice. Organ music kind of sounds like you died, but you didn't really. And usually when this happens, it'll either pop you outside the gate or it'll pop you back to town or something like that, but that was a battle stage. There was a stage before that, which was basically just, it was just a straight shot. Just go through and figure out how to knock down all the barriers. We've probably unlocked these two as characters. Or we'll probably unlock them at some point, but yeah. Now we've got somewhere different to go and all that, but we won't bother with that. Oh, hey. A new tip, which I will just skip through, because I can't read it. So, there you go. Signpost. That's, I don't know what that language is. It looks like Norse. Probably is Norse, or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah. That was a quick look at Dragon Quest Heroes 2, the Japanese version on Vita. If you're looking to import it, you can probably get through it just fine, as long as you got, like, a translator at hand for the more difficult quests and stuff like that. It's a perfectly fine port. It runs well enough. It has plenty of monsters on screen. Like, look how far away you can see monsters. In a Dynasty Warriors game, you wouldn't be able to see any of these bastards. At least on the later Dynasty Warriors ports. So, yeah, if you're looking for a nice little spin-off of Dynasty Warriors that does some different things, this is definitely something worth picking up. And hopefully, if they don't bring over the Vita version, we can convince a few people to pick up the Japanese version, maybe have some multiplayer games going. But yeah, this game's perfectly fun by itself. You can play it without needing to know the language, which is nice. And, well, yeah, it's just fun. It's a Musu game, so of course I'm going to say it's fun, but it's fun enough as is that I don't have a problem recommending it as an import. Because it's a Musu game. I mean, a Musu game that isn't import friendly, I can't even imagine what that would be like. Like, how ridiculous would your game have to be as a Musu title to not be import friendly? But yeah, I'll just run. I'll run away now. So yeah, there we go. This has been Blue Maxima, and I'll see you all next time.